Roll Tide, everybody. Bama's in the college football playoff. They're going to take on Oklahoma. Coach Saban is a Hall of Famer. And we're going to talk about this matchup between Alabama and Oklahoma and some of the teams that didn't get in, that took their ball and went home. Let's hit the open. We got a lot to get into. All right, there he is, working hard at his desk, Mr. Jake Coker. I'm Mick Gillispie. Welcome to Last Call. We're brought to you by Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. The Azaleas, the Oaks, two amazing golf courses at Dancing Rabbit, which is on campus. But right now, we want to remind you guys that Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, Lita Ford, who did a great song with Ozzy and other great stuff. She's a rocker. Firehouse, they're all going to be there December 27th, 8 o'clock. Tickets available. Go to the concert, then hit the Philip M. Steakhouse, get you a Pittsburgh sizzle. Get some of that saffron chowder. Do the whole thing, and then go hit the slots. Be a great place to do that. You can go to the Timeout Sports Lounge, and it's like being out in Vegas. Talking about Vegas, Bama, Oklahoma, 1.5 point is the 1.5 points is the spread. Bama's a favorite on the road at Oklahoma. They must not have seen the SEC championship game.
Well, I think they're factoring in, 2 weeks of somewhat rest. At least get some rest this week. Tough game. We looked like a team who was tired.
Yeah.
And not making excuses, trying not to at least. Georgia had their guys out. We had our guys out. Had some guys playing that I know. Look, not getting confirmation, but you hear the rumors. A lot of guys still hurt that are trying to play. Part of it. Some hurt worse than others and toughing it out, really just being out there. But, hopefully the next couple of weeks can get healthy and play up to what they're capable of doing. Still watch that game. You got a block punt, interception. Georgia scores 28 points. All 4 possessions, I believe, started from inside the 50-yard line. I think the game was, the score was way worse than the actual game. Georgia's a team that's not going to beat themselves, especially at this point in the season. They're just Kirby's got them playing with a lot of toughness, a lot of physicality, as he likes to point out, and that's a disciplined football team. Offensively, I feel like we didn't get outside the box enough. I feel like Ty's sitting back there and, really spending a lot of time letting everything develop. I think, you got to have some quick answers, get the ball out quick. I can't stand, running the play clock down all the way to 1 just about every play, letting them line up, run whatever they want to run. You're just giving them a lot of time to get on the same page and organize their pressures and really play football the way Georgia wants to play football. I didn't really start believing this until, a couple of years in at Florida State. I remember telling Jimbo Fisher one time, I love 2-minute and random situations. Because one, I think your guys, when you start going to 2-minute, I think the tempo, obviously you run at a higher pace, but also guys think less. It's easier to get into a groove sometimes. But also when I got to Alabama, you really start realizing how much, and you're on the field in game time situations, you realize that it's much harder for defenses to adjust when they're just trying to line up.
Right.
Just making sure they're in the right spot instead of, hey, man, we're going to pressure them here. We're going to to stunt, and we're going to twist, and we're going to do all these things, and we got time to do it. No, you don't have time to do it. You better just line up and make sure the guy you're responsible for is covered, and then we'll get to the specifics hopefully. But for right now, we're just trying to make sure you don't score a 60-yard touchdown because we don't have time to communicate and get everything lined up.
Right.
So again, offensively, I understand that you want to stick to your plan, but when that many guys are hurt and you're playing a Georgia team who, again, doesn't make mistakes, rarely busts, you gotta put them in positions where you kind of take the organization and the coaching out of it to a certain degree because you're going so fast and they just have to adjust to you rather than you applying the pressure to us.
Mm-hmm.
But Ty's got to have some quicker, the quick game. You got to mix in some combinations, in my opinion. A little bit downfield where your quick game isn't all. Toss to Ryan Williams real quick and see what he can do. You got to have some concepts in there, and I felt bad watching Ty just get killed again. We cannot protect him.
Yeah, right. Well, they send a lot of guys at him.
I've never seen -3. I don't. In my life, I feel like I would remember this, but I don't think I've ever seen Alabama finish with negative rushing yards.
No, that's what we used to do to teams when Nick Saban was at Alabama. We'd take the runaway, but they caught it. Like people get mad at me for making excuses up, but it's not excuses. It's not. This isn't the same team that played Georgia earlier this year. Alabama's been devastated by injuries because we play in an NFL-style schedule, and the College Football Playoff Committee is telling us you don't have to do it. But the SEC wants to, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we just go the route of all these other conferences, and instead of playing 9 games, let's play 6 conference games. And then the rest of them, let's play James Madison and let's play Tulane. Oh, they're in the college football playoff. Unfortunately for us, we didn't get that draw. But the truth, look at those schedules that those teams are playing compared to what we played. It's crazy.
I don't want to make excuses because I think the defense I thought played great, man, put in really bad situations. You give up 28 points, but in my opinion, you basically spotted them 14 points. Mm-hmm. The other 2, you cut the field in half and they scored from the 50 and the 45. We completely lost the field. We lost the field possession battle. We were never really in a good spot to start drives. Always, I can't remember how many times we started backed up with inside the 10 or 15. But again, there's some key. Isaiah Horton dropped a key ball, and there's a few more that I remember. I think some of those times when you got man coverage, you got to get the ball out to Ryan Williams. That's when he can be dangerous, in my opinion. When you got some one-on-one matchups, the pass interference, and he made a few plays, but so you got to take some shots when you get those looks and just get the ball out of Ty Simpson's hand, keep the pressure off of him. I don't know, but we never really had the ball long enough to do anything. I felt like there's a few drives where I felt like we got a first down or 2,
right?
But never really got anything established.
Well, I thought about you right away when that kick was blocked because you've said it a million times that's the way you lose games. Yeah,
that's at least 10 years ago, that was the indicator, the greatest indicator of whether you won or lost a game was whether you had a punt blocked or not. The percent, and the only reason I remember that, I don't even know if I don't know if there's a stat on that. I chat GPT'd it one time. They couldn't figure it out, but Coach Saban had that stat, and look, Kirby even mentioned it during game day. He said, usually in this matchup between Alabama and Georgia, there's a crazy special teams play that alters the outcome of the game, and they made them. They made them.
Right. And so, But that was also another one of those where, when you look at the injuries, it affected the game because, your guy's out. The guy you put in isn't ready to notice that there's extra pressure coming from that side. High snap, block kick changes the entire game.
Yeah.
That one play changed the whole game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's when everything kind of fell apart. Because defense was playing really well. I felt like we had some energy, When that happened, it just seemed like, man, we lost it all. We didn't, you could almost see it in the play on the field. We just didn't seem to have it anymore. And it's hard to come back when you got that many guys hurt that are either completely off the field or trying to play through a lot of stuff. And look, again, I know Georgia's going through a lot of the same things. But, when you follow Alabama more closely, you know more about some of the circumstances, and it is what it is,
Right.
That's part of playing, it's funny I remember when we beat Clemson in the national championship, there were guys saying they were playing hurt for Clemson, and I'm like, there are guys, I'm pretty sure 2 linemen had tightrope surgeries that were playing for us. I had a broken toe and had the separated shoulder throughout, it's like, man, everybody's hurt. You got to find a way to get around it. It is what it is. So,
yeah. I mean, and it was kind of like one of those games that was exactly like that. Guys are hurt out there trying to play. It didn't look great. And
yeah. And I think the Oklahoma game really comes down to the unknown of are we back from injuries or are we still hurt? I mean, how many guys are we going to be able to put out there? Having said that, we're looking at this playoff scenario. Couldn't be more ashamed of Notre Dame, in all honesty.
Wait a second. Are you telling me that Notre Dame doesn't have the right to sit out? I mean, they were robbed, right? They were absolutely robbed. They should have been in the college football playoff.
They're a total disgrace from the way they look at themselves, being independent, not playing within a conference. Who do you think you are? You take advantage of the ACC, whatever the ACC. You pick the most vulnerable conference to do that to. I get it. They'll take it. You're not going to be able to ragdoll people like, other conferences like that have a backbone. And then you've got, I don't even know what the right word is to say or to use, but I guess you got the gall to say you belong in the playoff when, you've beaten Pittsburgh and USC. And I'm looking at it right now. ESPN doesn't have the total wins and losses, but it's very hard to respect a team and then they're going to walk out and not play in the playoff.
Yeah.
I mean, Florida State got hosed more than anybody, and I'm not saying it was right or wrong to keep them in or keep them out, but they still played Georgia in the bowl game, got boat raced, but
their whole team transferred.
I mean, all those seniors at Notre Dame. Yeah, and all those seniors at Notre Dame that were going to have their last game aren't going to have that bowl game experience with their teammates. Which is fine. I mean, I would imagine if Notre Dame was going to play BYU, they'd probably get smoked anyway, given the mindset that Notre Dame obviously has.
Right. Yeah. Mentally, they didn't want to be there. It just goes to further what's wrong with the world of college football, right? So now you got NIL and transfer portal. You got players running basically running everything. And then when you don't get what you want as far as the college football playoff, and look, objectively, they clearly didn't belong. Now, with the criteria set up the way that it is now, and I think where they're frustrated is they would have been a favorite against a lot of teams. They were like Alabama in 22 when we lost.
Yeah.
in overtime to LSU on a 2-point conversion. We didn't get a chance to answer. And then that game that the officials were horrible in Neyland Stadium, and we lost on the last second field goal. Horrible officiating in that game. So bad that I don't even know if they could be that bad without doing it on purpose. And I've said that before. My opinion. You guys don't have to agree with me. But that's the way I see it, and I'm like, what we had Bryce Young, we had Jahmyr Gibbs, we had one of the best, most talented teams in the country. We would have beaten Georgia had we played them like we normally do, except last game. And we didn't get a chance. And it sucked. And it was like right there.
Oh, yeah.
The same exact feeling. I know how they feel. It stinks. But you know what?
The TCU
that's the way
game,
it was.
Yeah. I mean, and TCU, I think, gosh, I can't remember. Michigan, I think, threw, 2 pick sixes against TCU that year. I mean, it was one of those games.
Yeah. Well, TCU lost, though, remember? They lost to Kansas State.
I was getting there, but we get lined up with Kansas State, and I think we beat them 52-0. Something just egregious like that.
It was a big one. I'll look the score up. It wasn't 52-0. No, it was like 27-7, I think.
Really?
Maybe 34-7. I don't know. You say 52-0. I say, let me think here. 27. I'm gonna say 20.
45-20.
Okay, you found it already, or is that your guess? Oh, you found it.
That's my guess.
Okay, 45-20, and I say it was like, I want to say it was like 29 to 9 or something. 29-9. All right, let me look it up. Interesting. Let's see what we got here. Pulling it up. Okay, that was not it. And the person closest to it. No, that's not it. They got so many like
Why don't you just Google Alabama, Kansas State?
I'm going to. I made the mistake of saying Sugar Bowl.
I remember at the end of the game thinking, man, it's just an absolute blowout.
Wait, what did you say? You looked it up.
Ball knower. Knower of ball.
You're such a cheater. You're such a cheater. No, he goes from 52-0 to 45-20.
Man, the lights just came on.
Oh, you man. See, you guys don't even know. I get here, to do the show, and he's over there working, and then it's like all I see is like these fast fingers. That's his new nickname, Fast Fingers. He's over there typing. It's like I'm like so talented, talented at quarterback and talented at typing.
I got to tell you what to Google too.
I know. Obvious. Yeah, 45-20. So it wasn't 52-0. But anyway, bottom line is this. Is that I know Notre Dame's really good and they deserve to be in the playoff, but they don't need to be barking at Alabama or Miami. Miami beat them head to head. Bama played a tougher schedule and didn't have to play in that stupid championship game.
No, what I've come to find out is no matter how far you expand this playoff, you're going to have the fringe people complain no matter what. And right. I mean, you look at this bracket, I'm looking at it, you really got, if this was a 4-team playoff like back in the day, you'd have Ohio State, Georgia, Indiana. I mean, those are the 3 that really belong. And then after that, you'd probably have, it'd be between Oregon and Texas Tech. But, I mean, you got 3 teams who really and truly belong in this playoff, Indiana, Georgia, right. Ohio State, based on the season that they've had. The other ones, I mean, Oregon, let me see. I mean, Oregon, I guess, they deserve to be in it, and Texas Tech deserves to be in. But
there's 2 teams that don't belong.
I think you have
Tulane.
I think you really and truly have 5 teams that. Yeah, but once you get past those 5 teams, you've lost credibility in my opinion.
Oh, I see what
because
you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, even I look at Texas A&M's schedule. Let me see. Let's look through their schedule, because I looked at it right before that Texas game and I was shocked. I had thought they had played a little bit better of a schedule. I watched that LSU game and was like, man, this is an impressive team, and kind of didn't really look too much into their schedule. But I looked at it right before the Texas game. They hadn't played anybody. I mean, the hardest team they played, from what I remember, is Texas, who's not a playoff team, and they get beat. I mean, they had a great draw this year in terms of what their schedule looked like, but outside of that, there's not a whole lot you can say, was really all that impressive. And Georgia, I mean, Oregon, I feel like is probably in that same category. They beat USC. They lost to Indiana. They hadn't played a great schedule. I mean, you look at A&M. Well, they beat Missouri. I'll give them that. But I think their quarterback was hurt when they played Missouri. I forget. They did play Notre Dame, but again,
who's that?
Notre
Texas
Dame's
A&M?
not a playoff team.
Yeah, Texas A&M. Texas A&M. One of their fans got on my channel and he was like, "We beat the SEC team 52 to whatever against Arkansas." Yeah, and you lost to 1-2. You lost to Texas A&M. If you guys were in our conference, you'd probably end up somewhere in the 8-3 area.
Yeah. I think Arkansas won.
What's that?
They'd be in the 8-4 area, I bet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, they're probably not beating Georgia. They're probably not beating us if it's our place. Maybe they beat us if we're there. I don't know. It'd be pretty close. But they would just lose. Like you're fresh as a daisy guys wouldn't be. You'd look like us in that championship game where everybody's mangled and beat up and we don't even look like the same team. And then the worst part about it to me is that we keep talking about Alabama not deserving to be in. And I think that Alabama got robbed because we should be a home team. We did get penalized for playing in that stupid championship game. And it is stupid. It makes no sense anymore. It's like Mike Johnson. He said, you don't have 30s on the side of your helmet for winning the SEC. You have 18s because that's what you're here for at Alabama, to win the championship. We should have got to sit home, host a game, got healthy, and watched Oklahoma and Ole Miss play or Oklahoma and Vandy play. Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, it's just the whole way that this thing plays out now is it's meaningless. Sorry.
Yeah,
really.
I still.
You still
with
like
the
it.
history of the SEC championship. I don't know if you again. I'll say it like this too. Damian Harris I saw him talking about one of those clips. Him talking about Tennessee being our biggest rival. Completely disagree. Auburn's our biggest rival. If you grow up in this state and you've watched Alabama games, you've lived amongst the bugs, then you've been talking trash back and forth your entire life, and it's different when you grow up in this state. And I think Alabama. My thought of Alabama is we don't talk about it. I feel like Alabama football is about it, and we show up and play when you're supposed to play. SEC championship, I don't care how beat up you are, that's the next game on the schedule, and you go try to win that SEC championship. You can call it old school, you can call it whatever you want, but the SEC championship it meant a lot to me when we won it my senior year against Florida.
But it used to be a play-in, though, Jake. That's the difference. Like you used to – that was part of the fact that you didn't have 4 playoff games.
Yeah.
You got to win 4 – Bama's got to win 4 games to win a national championship.
You're right. I mean, you
4.
are right.
Think about where we are right now. Well, 4 more. All these teams are ranked. Got to do it again. You'll at least have some time off between games. But, I mean – I mean, it's just different now, you know.
No,
If
it
they
is. I know.
like and the NFL has the system, right? Like when you're if you're the number one team, you shouldn't have to play those games. Like, and
Yeah.
I know that they're trying their best to keep these games because it brings a lot of money into the conference, right? But teams are going to opt out, you know. And if I was Alabama, I think looking back on it now, we should have opted out. We should have done a Notre Dame and been like, you know what, let Ole Miss play in this game, and then sat at home, got healthy, and instead
God,
of trying to play.
that just looks so soft to me.
Yeah, but that's what they do in the NFL. Is it soft when you're the number one or the number two seed and you get an extra week off to rest?
No, but that's part of the process. I mean,
Well, how many games is too many though? If we went out, how many games? Because we're going to play. So we played 12, 13, right? 14, 15, 16, 17 games.
Yeah, that's
a lot of games.
I know we played 15 my senior year, and by the end of that 15 game schedule, I was done. We got to the Senior Bowl the week after, you know, and I mean, that was exhausting. Yeah, when you put the 17 games on there, it does make it a little tougher.
It does, right? You lived it, right? I'm just telling you, just as a guy over here looking at it from just an honest perspective, you know, looking at this team that we have that is just riddled with injuries right now, thinking that, okay, like we got to worry about Oklahoma. Then prize is you get to play, is it Oregon? Oh no, Indiana. Then you get to play Oregon. Then if you make it through that, you get to play Georgia or Ohio State. Most likely. That's probably fun stuff, right? Anybody left. We're not gonna have anybody left. The other thing, like it's crazy how the money has really, I don't want to say it's destroyed college football, but man, it sure has messed it up. You know, where the transfer portal and the NIL stuff, and then you start adding teams that just decide they don't want to play anymore, you know, because they didn't get, because the draw didn't go their way. I love that Notre Dame is like pissed off at the ACC because the ACC politicked against them, and they're like lashing out at anybody that they can lash out at.
You know, they finally don't get their way. You know, I mean, they can't handle it. It's.
Do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, join a conference. But if they were to join a conference, a real conference, then they wouldn't even be in the conversation.
Right.
But that's the whole point. That, to me, you won't join a conference because, and you've half-assed affiliated with a conference. You want all the leverage, but you're afraid to play a real schedule. You want to pick and choose and you know, play pretenders, and you know it's not always going to work out when you do that. You may look good on paper, you may look decent on paper, but you're not proving anything. You lost Miami, you lost Texas A&M.
Yeah,
I mean the only two teams that have proved that they are decent football teams you lost to.
Yep.
I mean, you beat Pitt. I hadn't watched the Pitt game all year. You know why? Because they haven't proven that they're a solid football team that's playoff worthy, or even close to the conversation.
Yeah.
You lost to Miami, only other team that you played that's in that playoff conversation. And I'm not saying in the playoff. I'm saying no. I'm talking about Notre Dame losing to Miami, losing to A&M.
Right.
I mean, you haven't beaten anybody that is even in a real conversation of being in the playoff.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. I mean, 100%. Like, I get why they're looking at Miami, and Miami has losses to teams that really suck. At least Notre Dame lost to Texas A&M and Miami. Both of them are in the playoff. Miami lost to Miami lost to SMU. They're terrible. I get the frustration. It was like us looking at SMU in the playoff.
But how can you even have an argument? I mean,
you can't. It's just
you lost to Miami. You lost to the last team.
You lost the game. Let me remind you, gang, about this. Patriot Roofing and Builders. Yep. I know it's that time of year right now where you're thinking, how am I going to make my place look a little nicer? What am I going to do to upgrade my house? And I think about this all the time, right? Well, Patriot Roofing and Builders, they are unlimited home builders. They've got their building license. They do total home renovation solutions for really anything, whether it's roofing, siding, gutters, windows, or the entire house, free inspections. And when you call, Will or Justin's going to answer. You're going to get those guys. They're going to send you to somebody else. You're going to talk to the guys themselves.
Good stuff.
You're just thinking in your head, why didn't I call Patriot? That's up there for you guys in Birmingham.
I had some good roofers.
Did you?
Yeah.
You got to have good roofs when you live down here. I'll tell you that right now.
Hey, man.
Those hurricanes pop up.
Look, my issue is not. I don't have any issue with mistakes with good intentions and responding to those mistakes and doing it the right way in the long run. My problem is just up and walking away and not giving a damn about the finished product.
Right. And that's why these guys, you got to find people that you trust, man. And that's how they've built their reputation. And you say that with passion, like maybe you're something that you've dealt with in the past. We're
not going to go down that road,
but oh man, I'm sorry to mess with you. All right, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a serious question. Your head coach at Alabama, he just got into the College Football Hall of Fame, and I saw this video, and it had a bunch of some of your teammates, other guys that are part of the Bama fraternity, and they were all like giving a message to Coach Saban. He was officially inducted into the 2025 National Football Foundation College Football Hall of Fame class last night, the 67th. And the award show was out in Vegas, where I've tried to get you to go. Not for that, but for Dead and Company concert, the Sphere, or the Eagles. I need to do maybe Fish now. They're going to be out there. And it's Disney. Anyway, with that, not to digress, do you have anything to say to Coach Saban? If you got a chance to be on the video, what would you have said to him?
Congratulations. I'm sure you're shocked.
Oh my God.
There's no bigger face in college football. It's a great, I know it's a great honor, but let's be honest, could have been inducted 10 years ago.
Why didn't ask you to be on the video? Hilarious though. Everybody's giving these heartfelt messages. And then you just drop that little ditty. You would have stolen the show.
Yeah, hey, Coach, you really snuck in there. Glad we could pull a few strings, get you in.
Please. Oh my God. That's so funny.
Had to make a couple $100 handshakes to make that happen.
Yeah, right. Would you, if you were getting into a Hall of Fame?
I know you need them way more than they need you.
Yeah, right. If you were getting into a Hall of Fame, would you rather be in with someone that was like a enormous name like that? Or would you rather be in a class where you were kind of one of the bigger names in the class?
I don't know. I'm usually usually if I'm ever involved in anything at this point, I'm associated with bigger names. So I mean, I'm pretty used to it. I mean, you know, I mean,
Please
you know.
stop. Oh, God, you're killing me today. I'm tired of the laughing. My face hurts from this. I'm not even in any Hall of Fame.
Walking in to do my handprint at Denny Chimes with Derrick Henry and Ryan Kelly and Reggie Ragland. It's like, you know, you want me to take the picture? I'll take it for y'all.
Hey, you were telling us about the George Strait picture on the podcast Friday, but I never saw it until you showed me. That's so funny. Did you even realize it was George Strait?
No, not until the next morning. The lady was like, "Hey, you mind sending me that picture?" I mean, the entire night, I don't even know George Strait's at this wedding. And then the next morning, I took it on my phone. And the next morning, she texted me, "Hey, you mind sending me that picture?" And it was like, I was like, "Man, what is up? Why does this picture matter so much?" You know? And I look at my phone. I was like, "Oh my holy shit! That's George Strait."
You thought it was Jim Dunaway.
George Strait, he had the flow going. Too much hair for that fella.
He looked great, man. Honestly, like, I met him in Birmingham years ago at a meet and greet, and he was like, he's such a little dude, you know. Like I'm like 6 foot. It felt like when you and me and like Barron and Shank take a picture. Except I can't imagine you taking a picture with him. Probably a good thing for him, because he would have came up to your hip. like a little friend you found out on the street. Is he the greatest is he the greatest country music singer?
Yeah, he's the king.
I mean he could, I mean, technically you could say that. I mean, all the number one hits and stuff, like quietly he kind of is the king.
There's only a few artists who have sold CDs with their number ones.
Mm-hmm.
First off, you can't. I couldn't think of all of them off the top of my head. But back before iPhone or iPods were around, my mom bought me his 50 number ones at the time.
Yeah. Is it 50?
That was 20 something years ago.
No way.
Yeah, because it was like a 3 CD pack. I mean, all his number ones wouldn't fit on one CD. You had to buy like 3 or 4.
All right. Dude, he's got 60 now.
Yeah. It was 50 number one hits at that point.
Floribama has the Frank Brown songwriters deal that they do every year. One of the guys there wrote some of those number one songs. He's from Alabama. It's pretty cool. Like, like a lot of those guys that write those songs, but he sings them in.
What's his name? There's one from Monty Cresswell from Mobile. He wrote "I Saw God Today," I think, and then a couple other ones.
Oh, that's cool for George. Yeah.
Yeah, but 50 number ones came out 21 years ago. So I was 9. I was 9 when I got that CD or that case. I'm
talking about Dean Dillon, who wrote 11 of those number one songs. The Chair, Easy Come, Easy Go. But yeah, man, I mean, like, look, it's, like he pretty much everything he does is a hit. I always liked that movie, the movie he did.
Let me see.
What was the movie?
Yeah, where he takes time off, and they get a replacement singer with all the lights and all that, and he's going to wherever in Texas. Is that what you're talking about?
Hold on. The Pure Country.
Pure Country?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Makes
good.
sense. I'm trying to find the. Yeah, he's got a ton. This Monty Cresswell. He's from Alabama too.
Yeah, a couple Alabama guys. Well, look, man. I mean, we planned on 20. We're at 40 right now. Guys, as you think about what you're doing for vacation or maybe early next year, I want to remind you about our buddy Keith and the gang at Residence Inn by Marriott Ocean City, back to back coastal style hotel of the year, right there by the boardwalk in OC, right there by Secrets. They got the fishing tournament. They got music festivals. I used to go there as a kid. I love it, man. And the gang from the next round went there, and they loved it too. I can remember Jim Dunaway talking about how much bigger the place was than he thought. And those guys having a great time out there. So you guys check it out too, and if you go, tell them that we sent you. Hey, the two of us are going to be in Jasper on December 18th for the tailgate show. Look at this. Right? Have you seen this? You've seen this shirt before.
Oh, man.
Look at that. In honor of Big Sexy. Brett Elmore.
Right there.
Yeah. Everybody got to have a Brett Elmore shirt. Still can't believe he's gone, to be honest with you. But we're going to his town one time. We're going to go there one time to the Pie Factory in honor of him. And love to have you guys come from 5 to 7. We'll be there with the Bama Tailgate Show. Well, anything else you want to talk about today? Because we're going to do something tomorrow too, right?
Yeah. Dive into that Alabama Georgia game a little bit more tomorrow. That was just a tough one to watch. That was one you kind of lose interest in while you're watching it because you just look. I mean, again, you just tell something's off. I mean, no, we're not firing on all cylinders. We've been surviving for a while. I think we need this bye week worse than we needed the first one.
Yeah. Yep. I agree, my friend. Well, look, guys, we're brought to you by Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. Again, the spread for Bama is 1.5. You can go over there, Vegas-style sportsbook at the Timeout Sports Lounge, and lay down your bets. And the two of us, we spend a lot of time there. And, tell you, they got everything you need. Full-size bar, 20 big-screen TVs. You got the kiosks, if you want to make your bets that way, the window, all of that stuff. But it's an easy drive, and you can, basically go over there and have a good time. All right, Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
I may not suit up on Saturdays anymore, but I'm still in the game.
Let's roll!
In here, I call the plays, make adjustments, and lay it on the line. Want to feel that fire, that rush? Then you've got to get in the game. I used to say it in the tunnel, and I still say it now. Let's roll.